The trail of the 3rd Army and the 19th Tactical Air Command of the 8th Air Force is marked by more than 40,000 white crosses, 40,000 dead Americans.
We were young and soldiers called to dedicate our lives in the name of God and country. Do what's just, boys. Go do what's right. A hot band of brothers waiting on our chance to add one more page unto the victory dance. Here am I, Lord, send me, send me. Victory lies in the spirit of the lives of the men who died for me.
This is Michael Broderick, Marine Corps veteran, actor, and former Gallant Few board member. You're listening to The New American Veteran, produced by Gallant Few in partnership with the Heroes Media Group. Now, here's Karl Monger.
Hi, this is Karl Monger with Gallant Few and the New American Veteran. It is my honor and privilege today to welcome Michael Reagan to the show. Michael is the son of President Ronald Reagan, and he is with the Reagan Legacy Foundation, and he's going to talk to us about a very cool project they have going on at one of my favorite places, which is in Normandy, France. Mike, welcome to the show.
Good to be with you. Thank you very much.
Hey, I about 2 summers ago had a chance to go to St. Mary Église, to the cliffs of Normandy. I saw the Airborne Museum and the legacy that your father left there, the speech that he gave, the boys of Pointe du Hoc. I'm a Ranger Battalion veteran myself, extremely meaningful. And I'll tell you what, the people in Normandy absolutely love him.
Well, there's a reason for that. People don't know, but he was the first sitting president, to actually visit Normandy on D-Day. So the speech he gave there on the 40th anniversary of D-Day, which were 3 speeches that he gave, were very well received because no president had ever done that before.
Isn't that amazing?
And so to be able to honor him there was really pretty easy with the people of St. Mary Église, at the Airborne Museum, and the people we've gotten to know, of course, at Normandy, France, over the last few years.
The Airborne Museum is very poignant because it has so many displays and artifacts from the actual battle. And when you wander around the St. Mary Église Church, you can still find bullets that have been welded into the fence from when they were fired. What a great place to have this legacy project. Can you talk about what you have going on, why you're doing that?
Well, I'll tell you the reason in a moment, but let me tell you how I got involved in wanting to do something at Normandy, France. I was playing golf a couple of years ago, just prior basically to the 70th anniversary of D-Day, and with a 28-year-old young man. And we were just talking on the golf course, and I told him, I said, tomorrow I'm getting on a plane flying to Paris because I've been asked to raise the flag at the American Cemetery at Normandy on Sunday. And the 28-year-old young man looked at me and said, why would there be an American cemetery at Normandy?
Whoa.
And I thought to myself, by the end of the round, he's the normal. I think there's a lot of people out there who have no idea why there's an American cemetery at Normandy. I think the youth of today, the millennials of today, don't get it, don't understand it, and what have you. And I thought at that point, I've got to do something to bring attention to it. And another thing that a lot of people are not aware of, that you are, and your audience is, that the paratroopers, the 101st, the 82nd, that's where they were going on D-Day morning. The paratroopers were all going into that area, St. Mary Église, the bridges and what have you. And so when they see Saving Private Ryan, they don't know where the paratroopers are going, or they see The Longest Day. They don't know Red Buttons is hanging from the church steeple at St. Mary Église. So to bring attention to that, I just felt I needed to do that. And I did it through my father and that speech he gave on the 40th anniversary. We opened up around the Reagan Center. People can have meetings there. We did that in 2015. And then we thought, what else can we do to honor those who served, who gave their lives, if you will, so that you and I cannot be speaking German. And we looked at the walkways that connect the four buildings and now the Ronald Reagan building also, and said, how about we do a brick project where people can go online and they can purchase a brick to honor a loved one who served in the European theater in the Second World War, a grandfather, a friend, whomever it might be, and they can purchase a brick. It's like $250 donation. And we lay bricks in the walkways so people will remember those who served for a long, long period of time. We just laid about the first 300 bricks about a month and a half ago. And it's going to be great to see the names of those that people loved, people want to remember. They're in the walkway. It's called the Walkway to Victory. And people can go to my website, walkwaytovictory.com, purchase a brick. And about every quarter, what we'll do is we'll lay another series of bricks until it's all bricked in for the future.
That is such a powerful project. There's a monument at Fort Benning, Georgia. That's the U.S. Army Ranger, the Ranger Memorial. And there are bricks there. When I go back, I always have to go find mine. But I have a lot of friends who served even from World War II, because I had the privilege to become friends with a number of these men. That unbelievable, the accomplishments that they did. But to be able to look at their names, especially those that have now passed on, it brings you right back. It connects you to them in a very profound way. And doing it there in Normandy at the Airborne Museum, that's a phenomenal project. And thank you for doing that. And I mean,
what we also
great deal.
did, we produced a 50-minute film, and we send the film out with people who purchase the bricks. And so people know where the money goes. The money's really split between the Airborne Museum to help them maintain the Airborne Museum and the memories that are there. And the other part of it goes to Reagan Legacy Foundation, which is my foundation. And we provide scholarships to the men and women and their families. Nobody else does that, and their families that serve aboard the USS Ronald Reagan.
I did not know that. Okay, so that's a great piece of information. Thank you for doing that as well. One of the things that struck me 2 years ago when I got a chance to go to Normandy is how connected the people in Normandy are to the United States. I mean, right now, unfortunately, it's mostly a one-way relationship, but when you go there, they have one of the most touching things that I saw was a display that showed the picture of a young captain who died at Normandy, and it told his story. It said this guy was a standout athlete in high school. He had done all these wonderful things. He did not have to volunteer to join the military, but he volunteered to be on the point of the spear and to jump in. And when you see, and then he gave his life. But when you see that, I mean, it brings tears to your eyes, not only because of the sacrifice that soldier made, but just the appreciation that the people there in Normandy have. And this will continue that. It brings those names right front and center, and it's a continuing reminder of the price of freedom.
Oh, it really is a continuing reminder of price of freedom. And to go there, and the name of the soldier who jumped on D-Day morning was John Steele, hanging from the church steeple. And of course, there's a John Steele restaurant right down from there. But a lot of the roads are named after the paratroopers who jumped in on the morning of D-Day. And a lot of people also don't know that St. Mary Glebe was the first town freed by America at 4 a.m. in the morning of D-Day morning, first town. And, they always talk about, we hate, the French hate us. Not in St. Mary Glebe, they don't.
Not there, they don't.
In St. Mary Glebe.
They're in the town hall there outside the mayor's office is the first flag that was flown over Normandy during the invasion. There at St. Mary Glebe, like you said, the very first town that was liberated. And for them to have that flag there, it's especially poignant.
Well, just sit there and also, just sit down with Maurice and Henri Jean Renault, who were the children, two of the children of the D-Day mayor, to be able to speak with them a couple of years ago I guess last year when I was there, they gave me a cutting from a flag from a paratrooper that parachuted in on D-Day morning. But to sit with Henri Jean and Maurice, who keeps his mother's name going, the mother in Normandy, his mother who took care of all those grave sites for so many, many years, and went out there and sent letters home to the family members in the United States so their loved one stayed in touch with them during holidays, what have you. And even when they moved the grave sites from St. Mary Glebe and that whole surrounding area down to the National Cemetery that we have now, she even went down there and took care of the grave sites down there. And that's why she's referred to as the mother of Normandy, but by those who jumped in on D-Day morning.
Hey, Mike, next year is the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Is there anything that you have already planned or scheduled? I know there are a lot of veterans. I'm trying to connect with one of the jump teams so I can get one last parachute jump before my paratrooper days are completely over, because I would love to jump into Normandy. Do you have anything special going on?
Got to be a right guy out there for you. You know, it's interesting. We also, just let you know where the money goes, we sponsor, I think, 25 D-Day vets to jump in, or not jump in, come in on the last anniversary, 70th anniversary of D-Day. And we work with a group called Forever Young. I'm sure you're familiar with them. And they asked for our help. And so we help provide money for 25 to go. And one of the paratroopers that went, you know, now he's like 94 years old, and he jumped out tandem over Omaha Beach. And it was so funny because when he landed, the media went up to him and said, "What'd you think? How was it?" And he looked at him and said, "It was a lot better than last time they were shooting at me."
Well, Michael, thank you so much for being on the New American Veteran. Is there anything else that you want to add before we conclude the interview?
Just listen, appreciate all the work you do, all the work that those in the military, in fact, do. And I hope that what we're doing really helps bring memories to life of those loved ones who fought in that war and saved the world, if you will. And again, they go to walkwaytovictory.com, order a brick. We'll send them a DVD, and they'll be able to visit Normandy and see a brick with the name of their loved one. That'll be there for all time. As I said, we just put the first 250, 300 bricks down, and this will be an ongoing program till all the bricks are in and all the walkways are taken care of. So it's an ongoing program, and I just appreciate you having me on.
Michael, that's outstanding. Thank you for being on the show. It's a privilege to talk to you. I'm a big fan. I went into the Army in the Reagan era. 1983 is when I got my commission. So thank you.
Good time to serve.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, "Whom shall I send? And who will go for us?" And I said, "Here am I. Send me."
Thanks to Kenny Thomas for permission to use his song Send Me, and to Michael Broderick for the intro. Thank you, Army Ranger veteran, actor, and Gallant Few board member Tim Abel for sending us out with Isaiah 6:8, and thanks to the Jim O'Farrell Band for the Expel song Nowhere. The New American Veteran is a Gallant Few Inc. production. All work is original or used by permission. All rights reserved. Visit www.gallantfew.org for more information or to request to appear on the show.